Hi, and welcome to our next phase in our knee strengthening video series. So these exercises we're going to play with today are going to be more of functional movement, getting your joints working in an upright orientation. And that's going to help you, again, build that knee strength, ready for all the things you love to do, or perhaps it's doing your prehab or your rehab post-surgeries. So as we go through these, remember there are a couple of things always to be mindful of, and that is your level of pain. There should not be an excruciating amount of pain, and if there is, you need to back off doing it. You need to slow your reps down or do less reps in general. So as we work out today, there are a couple of things we're going to need. One is a wall, 2 is a chair, 3 is a ball. So if you don't have a ball, you can do this with a towel rolled up in a few places, but I do recommend getting a squishy ball like this because there are so many benefits to having it and so many other exercises you can do with it. So we're going to start today in a seated position onto your chair. So again, as we did in the last series, you're going to make your way right to the front side of the chair and then put the ball in between the legs. So in our foundational move, we ended our series with the band around our thighs pushing outward and inward, but today we do it in the opposite way. So all we start with is a gentle squeeze onto the ball and then releasing. So as you know by now, your knee is connected to your lower leg and your upper leg. And there is a heap of muscles that are responsible for holding this joint in place because, as we mentioned, it is the largest joint in the body. So we want to ensure that all the muscles are working effectively. So today's focus is on the backs of the legs, the fronts of the legs, and of course the insides of the legs, which you'll be feeling right now. You can put your hands wherever they feel comfortable, but really what's important is how you are sitting upright. So you're going to keep going. We've got a few more squeezes, but I'm going to do this in a sideways position so you can see my spine is still upright as I do the squeeze on and the squeeze off of the ball. So as you're doing this, you shouldn't be collapsing your feet in. There's just a nice easy motion to the inside and to the outside. So as we did before, we're going to progress this into a sit to stand. So you slide yourself forward, go into a hinge first, and then come back upright. So we play a few times, just forward and back, really letting the body kind of become aware of what we're doing. And this is the same action we'll be using for a squat later. So you're going to think from tail to head, staying on a nice long diagonal and not rounding in your back or rounding in your shoulders. So here we go into the progression. We put hands onto the legs and you push through the feet and you stand yourself up. And then you're going to take a seat down. Feel the weight of your arms dropping towards your legs, sit bones on the edge, and then upright we come. So we do that again. We lean our weight forward, find hands to be on your legs, and then standing tall. And then we come down again, bottom hinging back behind you and finding the chair with ease. Now, if you're happy, we can take hands away and just have them resting down so that when you hinge forward, you want to feel those arms are very heavy in the direction of the floor so that you're not using your shoulders to do the work. The most common thing that people do when they have knee pain or leg discomfort is that they will want to find the chair with their hands. So they turn around and hold onto a chair to bring their weight down. So really important that you feel very relaxed through your upper arms. Rest yourself and stand, take a seat sitting up. And then one more time as we go through, push through the legs. And we're going to stay in a stand position. You're going to move the ball away and we're going to come toward the back of the chair this time. So you're going to find the position where you can, where you're going to be able to touch the wall and the chair at the same time. And it may take a few. We put the ball back between the knees as we just did. And when we're standing or when we go into our squat now, same movement, we're just not going as low as the chair was. You're going to drop yourself back. I want you to find the wall with your 2 sit bones, kind of like it was with the chair earlier, and your hands are onto the top surface of the chair. And this touch point of hands on the chair and bottom on the wall is going to give your brain much more clear information. And then from there, we're going to release the 2. The hands come back towards the wall, the hips go forward towards the chair, and then again, you find your seat. Tap the wall, tap the chair, and then bringing yourself up and aiming your arms back. So the addition of the arms pulling back is really going to open through the front of the chest. It makes it more than just a squat exercise. We'll go for another 2 of these, nice and broad, open wide, and down. And then the final one, we're going to take it into your squat. So we've got the hands still facing forward. We're going to do like we did on the chair. You're going to squeeze onto the ball and release, and squeeze and release. You've got 3 more of these. Don't underestimate how intense this can feel. Your quadricep muscles, the ones here on the top sides of the thighs, should be feeling a little bit of work. Last time, and then you're going to bring yourself all the way up. Now what we're going to do is take yourself towards the wall. Bottom is touching, head is touching. And this is going to be a varying degree. So we'll start in a nice easy way, just a simple slide down the wall. If you're someone whose head is off the wall, you may want to put something like a towel or a pillow behind you so you've got your weight of your head resting against the wall surface. And then we're just staying for a little moment, just kind of feeling, okay, are you comfortable? If there's knee pain, sharpness, any of that, we've got to come back up again. Maybe you're not ready for this move. And then sliding yourself up. So we're going to go in the stages. Please remember to stay in the stage that feels best for you until you develop the strength to go further. So when you go down again, can you stay in that same sort of less than a 45-degree hold? And you're going to reach your arms out in front of you, and then you're going to lower your arms back down. We're only going to do 3. Reach the arms forward and bring the arms back down. One more time as the arms go to the front, the arms go to the back, and then we slide back up again. So similar move, we go again down the wall, hold your squat position, send the arms out. Now turn the palms to face each other and widen your arms and bring them back. Again, I'm just putting in 3 repetitions. Over time, you can build this to 5, you can build it to 10, but this is just going to help you find that first part of the movement. All right, on the next one, again, we come down in just to that first little part. Don't worry, you don't have to go all the way to 45 degrees or 90 degrees. From here, you're keeping the ball between the knees. You're going to raise a heel up and then lower it down. And then other side lifts and lowers. So we're alternating. Just 3s again is our number. It's a nice simple number, but trust me, it is very effective. One more time to each side, getting that full range up onto the ball of the foot, and then sliding yourself back up. There is one more in the series, so we're going to go down again, and then from here we're going to go into double heels for 3, and for 2, and for 1, and then again sliding up. All right, well done, we made it through that one. So we're going to come back again towards this position, and you're going to go into that little squat shape. This time not letting the bottom touch the wall, so you may want to move your chair slightly forward. So again, the weight of your squat is still in the backward position. So the glutes are doing most of the work for you, even though the knees are slightly bent. From here, we're going to lift a foot up as though you're trying to get your heel toward your bottom, but not forcing it. And then lower it back down and lift it up. So we're going to go for 5. As you're doing this, the effort is on stability on the outside leg. That's 4. And then last one, 5, and then we're going to change. So the minute you bring your leg up, the weight is going to shift to the opposite side. And that's why it's such an effective exercise for the outside hip. And then we've got 3 more and 2. This is setting us up for our next round of moves. 1 more, and then bringing it all the way back to the center line and bringing yourself up. So now what we're going to do is take the ball away, and we're going to put it behind your first leg. So in my case, that was the left. So from here, we go back into that squat shape. So from a tall position, sit the bottom backward. And from here, we're going to move your foot away and then bring it back. And away and bring it back. So I've got the wall fairly close to me. So my range is not very big. And I don't need it to be big because I don't want to go too far. 4. And then one more time, 5. And then bringing yourself all the way up for a rest. See if you can stay in the balance. If you can't, just keep your hands forward. And then we go into that little squat shape again. So bottom is back. So we're going to make a circle. We go back into the number 3. So circling it around and to the front. And 2. And 3. And then change the direction. Backward and out and in. So again, the work is not so much on the moving leg. It's more on the standing leg. And then rest and then change the ball position. So if you felt like the wall was too close and you've got more range, then you can hop yourself forward a little further so you've got better range to go to. Sit yourself into the backward squat, and here we go, sending the leg away and then bringing it back. I do like the wall. It gives me information. It tells me where my leg is going. It gives me that feeling of when my leg goes back, my foot is going kind of flat onto the wall. I've got 2 more to go. And then final one. And then again, balance check if you can. Can you stand up? Maybe you need fingertip touch. Maybe you can take hands off. You do you. And then we go again, hands forward, bottom goes back, and it's 3 circles. So whatever direction comes to you naturally, but we're making as much of a stirring action inside of the hip. You're aiming to keep your pelvis line level. Let's switch sides and circling around for 3. And then last time to go. And then bringing it all the way back again and releasing the ball. So we're going to take the ball now against the wall into your upper back area. And you'll feel where it's right. Sometimes it needs to go higher, sometimes it needs to go lower. And you're going to have your feet maybe just a tiny bit in front of you. So I'm not standing directly on top of my feet, just my feet are slightly forward. So with here, we're going to send our arms up towards the ceiling. And as you do, you're going to have a feeling of your chest bone lifting up and rolling over the back of the ball, and then returning yourself upright and arms down. So arms lead the way up, the chest slides up towards the ceiling, and then you roll it down. Now, sometimes looking up to the ceiling is too much for your eye gaze, so look more forward in front of you on a diagonal line, and that's going to feel maybe potentially better in the tops of the shoulders and definitely at the back of the neck. And then on our next, we're going to add a little bit of movement. So we're going to send the arms towards the ceiling. You're going to stay in this backward lean. You're going to pull your elbows down to your sides, raise the arms up, and then bring the arms forward. And then we repeat that. We lift up, little chest opening, elbows bending, elbows straightening, and then returning down. Now, something that's really interesting in the body is that the arms and the legs are very similar in their construction. So ankles and wrists, knees and elbows, shoulders and hips. So by doing work at other areas of the body, you're still going to be having a great effect in the area that you're desiring. I've lost count. Let's say this is going to be our last one. And big, beautiful stretch. And then returning up. From here, we'll take the ball away and place it down next to the side of you. Take a wide position with your legs. And then from here, we're going to send your free arm towards the ceiling. You're going to start to side bend. So the ball will start to roll down your leg a little bit as you reach across, and then bringing yourself back up again. So the weight is still between the 2 legs. So when you bend to the side, try not to shift your hips over with you, but really feeling like you're stacking the pelvis beautifully on top of the feet. And again, a nice big reach across, and then coming back. And then one more time as we reach across. I always laugh because I think I know exactly how many I've done, and then I can't remember at all. So we take it to the other side. So everybody's arm length is different. So you're just going to hold the ball with the flat of the palm against your thigh, wherever that gets to. Arm is to the ceiling, and then we go over, reaching across, sliding down and sliding up. So again, all the things that we do here are not excessive ranges of movement. We're just getting mobility back into the system. And with mobility comes the sense of stability. So we need to have the ranges really well secured in order to get the movement we desire. All right, again, I'm going to giggle because I think this is our last one. And as we do, we'll rest all the way back. So this is going to be one of our final moves, So you're going to take the ball now and place it against the wall. It's going to be just up above the knee height. From this shape, take the hands behind the back. That's going to help open the shoulders. If that's uncomfortable, bring them across the body. Doesn't matter. And we're going to take our seat back into our squat. So when you do that movement, stand up again, make sure that you don't load your knees down and forward. So almost like your tibia, your shin bone is going to stay where it is, and you're going to send your bottom away from your lower leg. So hinging over the lower leg and then coming back up. So you've got another 2 like that as we go into the hinge and then the stand, and then one more time as we do the hinge, and you're going to stay in this position. From here, we're going to press into the ball against the wall and release, and press and release. So it's really important, if you're following along with me, that you do it at the same pace that I'm doing it at, because if we do it faster than that, you're going to lose the benefit of the whole movement. And then that was your fifth one, and stand yourself up. So we're going to do a second round of the pulses into the ball. So we go back into the hinge squat, hold your shape, and then again, press and release. Now, when I'm in a squat, I look down toward the floor so that my neck is staying in line with my spine. I don't look forward and up. That creates neck tension. That's your fifth one. And then we're standing up. So we're going to spin around and repeat on the other leg. So again, holding that ball just above the knee height. And then from there, hands can go wherever they feel comfortable behind the back of your body. So when you're ready, we sit the bottom back and stand back upright. So the ball against the wall, again, is just a little bit of feedback, and it helps to keep the alignment of the legs, because most often when we do knee injuries, it's usually our alignment that's gone out. So hold your position here, stay steady, and then push gently into the ball and release it, and squeeze it out and in. So just like you're pushing it to almost deflate the feeling of the ball, and then the ball goes, nope, I'm going to push you off of me. There's our last one for 5, and then bringing you upright again. So second round, we just go into the squat and hold the shape. And then from there, we do our squeeze and release. And 2, and 3, 4. I get so bored with myself when I have to count the reps, but that's what has to happen. And 5, and then bringing ourselves all the way up. All right, so from here, we don't need the ball anymore. You can put it on the top of the chair. You're just going to place your hands onto the top side of the chair again. So in the ideal world, I didn't mention it, but your chair would have a backing. If it doesn't, you use the wall as what I'm going to do with the chair instead. So we're going to put one foot back behind you, one foot in front of you. You bend the front knee. This movement is about a stretch at the back of the leg. So we've got our calf stretching down, and then you're going to bounce up onto your toe. And then we bend the front knee, we lower the heel, and you return back up into a little pointed foot. So this is our third one like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to swing your heel inward, and you're going to do the same movement. So when you push up, your foot is in a little bit of a turn out position. And then just make sure, again, that this is a tolerable place for you. And then from there, we're going to spin your toes inward, and your heel will be outward, so that when you lower your leg, something will feel different. So you may feel more restriction at the top of the hip. You may feel a different sensation in your calf, and then coming back and changing your sides over. So when you set yourself up, if you go too far, too fast, you're going to be in awkward positions. So the idea of a stretch is not that you have to feel awkward in it. You really want to feel like you could hold that there for a few breaths, like maybe even a minute. It should feel like there's a calmness to it, not this intensity. And then pushing up. Again, these are movements we do all day, every day. We are upright beings. We are perfectly designed to walk on the earth. It's the way we've been walking that needs to change. So we spin the toes out, and then we're going to go heel down, heel up. Now, even though the emphasis is on the back leg, you're still looking at that front knee, making sure it's tracking over the front foot and facing in the right direction. Spin your heel out, and then lowering the heel and lifting the heel. And then 2 more. And then last one. And then we'll come all the way back. Our final movement is just going to be a little rise through the heels. Just take the ball and place it between the heels. Use your fingertip touch onto your chair, and you're going to lift and you're going to lower. So as you go up onto your toes, there's a forward momentum, and then an up, and then a down and a back, and a forward and an up, and a down and a back. So even though you may feel like your balance is fine, or you want to progress this, still just keep a fingertip touch on while you're getting through the move. So I always recommend about 5 repetitions before you start to get fancy. And fancy could mean I don't have hand hold anymore. So as I come up, things are going to feel different. So if you're not ready for the things feeling different, again, just a light touch. I'm not even putting any weight on my fingers, but it's that connection, like I've spoken about the whole session today, that is feeding my brain information that is helping me move better through the sequence, and then resting down. Well, I think that's going to be enough for today. Get excited, there's another series coming as well, which will take it to the next level of functionality and strength. But for the meantime, just practice the foundational ones. Enjoy doing this series. Always feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and then let me know what was working for you and what wasn't. So not everyone feels the same through these. As I mentioned, this is not replacing medical advice, but just be gentle with your body. Try not to push too far, too fast. I look forward to seeing you in the next series coming soon. Bye.